It is time for the main event of the evening. 12 rounds scheduled for the WBC Light Middleweight Championship of the World. Puerto Rico contra México. Presentada por, brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions y Canelo Promotions. Patrocinada por, sponsored by Corona en el centro del ring, Tequila Don Ramón y Tabasco. Sancionada por la Comisión de Box del Distrito Federal, supervisor de CMB, the WBC Supervisor in Attendance, Mike George, y el presidente supervisor de CMB, the WBC President in Attendance, José Suleiman. Los tres jueces por este combate, the three judges scoring this bout at ringside, de los Estados Unidos, Chris Taylors, de Canadá, Robert Trapper, y también de Canadá, David Billow Circoen. El referee encargado de los servicios de ring, the referee in charge of the action when the bell rings, from Panama, Héctor Afu. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, los jueces están listos. Los peleadores están listos. Si están listos, mexicanos, dile al mundo. Presentar primero la esquina azul, con los pantaloncillos negro con azul y rojo y un peso 69 kilos 900 gramos. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing black, trimmed with the colors of Puerto Rico, red, white, and blue, he weighed in officially 154 pounds. Su récord excelente con 33 victorias, 28 ganadas por nocaut, solamente 4 derrotas y un empate. His professional record stands 33 victories, including 28 knockout wins, just 4 defeats and 1 bout even. De Houston, Texas, de los Estados Unidos, nacido de Carolina, Puerto Rico, el ex campeón OMB y FBI peso welter. Here is the former WBO, IBF welterweight champion, el retador, the challenger, Kermit the Killer Cintrón. Y su oponente en la esquina roja, con los pantaloncillos blanco con negro y un peso 69 kilos 900 gramos. His opponent fighting out of the red corner. Wears tonight white trunks trimmed in black and weighed in also 154 ready pounds. Su récord perfecto con 38 victorias, 28 ganadas por nocaut, 0 derrotas y un empate. His professional record stands perfect at 38 victories, no defeats, 1 bout even, and 28 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando el hijo de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, el campeón mundial CMB peso super welter. Here is the undefeated WBC light middleweight champion of the world, Saúl Canelo Álvarez. Otra vez el árbitro. Once again, your referee in charge, Héctor Afu.
Vamos a esperar que salga.
Fuera las cuerditas, mijo, fuera las cuerditas.
Los golpes son ataques, choquen guantes, pegan el mejor, vamos.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. looked like he made real strides against Peter Manfredo last week. Canelo Álvarez's turn right now.
It's kind of fun, the fact that they fight in close time frame to each other, so we can do the instant analysis and comparison of who looks better or who looked more dominant. So we get set for the start of round number 1 between Álvarez and Cintrón. Let's see if Cintrón can work at a steady pace and put pressure on Álvarez.
He looks very relaxed early.
Álvarez sort of what the game plan was this morning. He said, look, I don't feel him out in the first round, just get a sense. I'm going to look to counterpunch, I know that, but sort of then decide which plan we need to enact once round 2 begins. 5 first-round knockouts for Álvarez, 7 for Cintrón.
I'm impressed to see how either one of them reacts to the other one's power punches.
Cintrón's been down 6 times in his career. 5 times to Antonio Margarita. Once to Sergio Martinez. Good left hand by Álvarez.
Looked like he took that pretty good. But he better hurry up and hit Álvarez back with something hard to get some respect. Because if he don't, he doesn't want Álvarez to come at him full-fledged.
One of the problems is that even though Cintrón's a good athlete, he didn't start boxing until he was 19. Álvarez since he was 13. And so, Roy, in exchanges, even though Cintrón's athletic, Álvarez's shots may land first.
Most definitely.
This is the 244th professional round for Álvarez, the 193rd professional round for Cintrón. Cintrón was an outstanding wrestler in the Reading, Pennsylvania area. In fact, went to college to wrestle at Thaddeus Stevens College of Technology, ranked 10th nationally, but the school dropped it. He dropped out because he didn't have money to stay in school. His uncle, who he lived with in Reading, Benjamin Serrano, was a boxer, and he tried it and fell in love with it. But that's why he had the late start.
Roy, there's debate about the extent of Canelo's power. To me, it looks like he's heavy-handed. What do you think of his power?
I think he's very heavy-handed. And to me, the same thing he's saying about Cintrón is the same thing I think about Chavez. Chavez Jr. didn't have a real amateur career. He just turned professional. This kid been fighting amateur since he was 13. So I think Chavez has more ground to cover than does Álvarez.
In terms of his power, I don't know, he lands with a thud every time he seems to throw Álvarez.
Very strong punches. Like I said earlier, when the first few times we seen him, I was like, this kid is different because he's a Mexican who really can punch. I mean, a real puncher at 154 pounds.
There's the bell to end round number 1.
Sit down. That was a good feel that round.
Breathe, breathe. Some water?
Here you see Álvarez leads with a good left hook to the forehead, well, to the temple. Then Cintrón comes back with that beautiful jab. Well, that's again, you see the hook, followed by a great right hand to the top of the head. But those shots landed high on Cintrón's head, so you take them better. Left hook followed by a straight right hand, and the right hand was partially blocked.
But it moved Cintrón back, Roy. That's what I mean about heavy-handed. It moved his whole body.
Yes, it did, and he is definitely a very heavy-handed puncher, that Álvarez.
Well, according to the CompuBox numbers, Cintrón threw almost twice as many punches as Álvarez in that round, 50 to 26. Landed 2 more. As we begin round number 2, scheduled for 12, Álvarez in the white, Cintrón in the black.
And we expected Álvarez to be much more economical with his land rate. He's going to land a lot more punches in comparison to what he throws than is Cintrón.
All right, so Roy, feeling out first round for both fighters. So what's the adjustment that Álvarez will now try to enact in round number 2?
Well, now he'll start trying to make more contact with Cintrón to see how Cintrón really takes his big punches. He's going around, taking his time. He don't want to rush nothing because he knows Cintrón has the experience factor as a professional, and Cintrón is a very good puncher.
All right, so on the flip side, let's go the other way now. Cintrón got a sense of Álvarez's hand speed, whatever. What adjustment or what plan does he try to enact here in round 2?
Well, he's throwing his jab, which is a great idea, but what he has to do at this point is get some respect. Right now, Álvarez has no respect for Cintrón's power, so he needs to land a good shot. You see that? Álvarez is all out with his shots because he doesn't respect Cintrón's power right now. Cintrón needs to land a big shot to establish some respect.
Álvarez goes to the body and backs up Cintrón.
One of the interesting things about Álvarez, and there are several, is that it's not easy to really describe his style. He starts out boxing on the perimeter. He can move in if he senses his guy is hurt and become the aggressor, Roy. How would you describe his style?
He's a great all-around fighter. He can fight from the outside. He can fight in close. You don't find many young fighters who can do that, but he did just get caught with a good check hook a few seconds ago that made him back up and respect Cintrón a little bit. Now he's got a little bit more respect when he's attacking. He's not attacking just all out with his hands anywhere like he was.
He's a good puncher boxer as opposed to a boxer puncher. He's thinking of punch first.
Exactly.
Approaching 1 minute to go here in round number 2. Álvarez digs in with a combo.
The other good thing for Cintrón is the shot that he really landed was a left hook, and I think his straight right hand used to be his best punch. So maybe he's still saving that, like that.
Cintrón has mentioned that it's hard for him to keep the weight up. In other words, he made 147 pounds no problem, and now at junior middleweight, the struggle is not to make the weight, it's to keep the weight on him because he's naturally not that big.
And you can just about be assured that Álvarez is somewhere close to the 170 range right now.
Yeah, you can see it, a big, thick guy for his height. Upper body.
Short of that combination, jab slips through.
10 segundos.
See, Cintrón doesn't commit to that right hand anymore like he used to.
There's the bell to end round 2.
Put it right here. There you go. All right. Okay. Now listen. You're showing up a little bit too much respect now, okay? Fuck this kid, man. We gotta go get it now, okay? Okay? We gotta put a little bit more pressure on it.
Gotta work your jab.
Hay que volver.
Get from the guard
Hay que
open.
bajar. Si tú haces eso, le vas a dar.
If you did, you gotta get him here.
Vamos second. Fuera.
So we get set for the start of round number 3 between Canelo Álvarez and Kermit Cintrón. No knockdowns in the fight. Well, I like what Ronnie Shields said, Roy. You're showing him too much respect. Look, you're in Mexico. Álvarez has got the belt. He's the money guy. I mean, you've got to step it up. He threw 46 jabs in the last round, but you've got to start putting some pressure on him or else it's going to be more of the same.
He said the same thing that I was saying. You got to establish some respect at some point. If you don't make this kid respect you and go out and act like you want to take his title, you're not going to win the fight.
I think one of the problems is Álvarez is the better counterpuncher. You saw in the last round, Cintrón throw a jab, Álvarez weave it and make him pay. And I think that's keeping Cintrón's power hand at home, Roy. He threw a right hand.
Yeah, but I don't like that right hand.
Yeah,
it's not as powerful as it used to be. You know, it used to be when Cintrón threw the right hand, you know, it was going to be some problems if it landed.
Right.
This right hand he's throwing tonight, it's not going to be any problems if it lands.
Tentative because he's scared of what's coming back at him?
No, he's just not committing to it anymore. He's committing to throwing more punches now. He tried to become more of a boxer instead of a puncher. So he doesn't sit down on the right hand like he used to do.
He used to sit down on right hands, and then guys used to sit down and lie down.
You better believe it. See, like that. That's a good hook, but the hook was the better punch of the combination.
And it's Álvarez applying the pressure, moving Cintrón back. Good left hook inside. Caught Cintrón. Right hand glances to the top of the head.
At one point in his career, Cintrón posed a real problem for anyone because of the relatively big size for a welterweight, the athleticism, the good hand speed, the excellent punching power. There was no easy way to beat him.
No, it wasn't. He was a big problem.
It's HBO's Boxing After Dark. Canelo Álvarez, Kermit Cintrón in round number 3. Álvarez defending his junior middleweight title. Bob Papa, Roy Jones, Max Kellerman. Ringside in Cincinnati earlier tonight. Adrian Broner victorious to win a portion of the junior lightweight belt. Live here in Cincinnati. So he took care of Martin Rodriguez in the 3rd round.
At this point, though, as Roy, as you mentioned, unless Cintrón lands something like he means it, it looks as though, especially in light of recent performances, the Cintrón that we used to know welterweight isn't here anymore.
No, he's not, because he's letting Álvarez close the door now, which means he's allowing Álvarez to get too close to him, because Álvarez does not fear his power, and that's not a good sign for him.
That will just increase the confidence level of Álvarez, right?
That's basically what's happening right now.
10 seconds, 10 segundos.
Because he's closed the distance, his counters are working better. He caught him with a good counter right hand over the top of the jab.
You gotta take a chance. And look, I'm telling you, man, you gotta hit this guy in the body. You gotta get close enough to go to this guy.
Tune in Friday,
okay?
December 2nd at 9 p.m. for 24/7 overtime. Go to Margarito. Jim Lampley, Max Kellerman, and Emmanuel Stewart will put the finishing touches on 24/7 with the help of some familiar faces from the series. On Saturday, tune in to HBO Zone at 5 p.m. for Fight Day Now, a 1-hour special packed with guests, features, and in-depth analysis to prepare you for that night's mega matchup. It's all part of the countdown toward the long-awaited rematch between Miguel Cotto and Antonio Margarito, coming to you next Saturday night on HBO pay-per-view. And we begin round number 4 between Álvarez and Cintrón. Let's check in with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob, I got 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Canelo Álvarez. You know, in round 1, Cintrón outworked him, but Canelo did more damage. I mean, there's no question, landing the harder shots. Round 2, Kermit Cintrón threw a ton more punches, and Canelo just seemed to feel them out, didn't do a heck of a lot. Round 3, Canelo started to come forward with that lead right hand and that left hook he throws all the time. I thought Canelo won round 3, 2-1, Canelo Álvarez. By the way, we're going to hear the official scores after round 4.
All right, thanks, Harold. Open scoring in Mexico City.
Roy, you think Canelo's doing enough considering how passively Cintrón is fighting?
He's really not doing enough right now, but it seems as though they, kind of like we saw in his last fight, he's kind of waiting to wear Cintrón down. You see him throwing a hook to the head, hook to the body there. He's trying to wear Cintrón down, close the distance, and the more he closes the distance, the more he'll be able to hit Cintrón. So I don't think he's trying to waste his punches early.
Yeah, for a 21-year-old who can punch, he's very patient.
Very, very patient.
And he's using that left hook to the body very effectively here in this round.
And Cintrón's corner told him to go to the body. He hasn't gone to the body yet, but Álvarez is doing beautiful body work right here.
Cintrón's pumping out jabs. Álvarez is pumping out hooks and straight right hands. Lead right from Cintrón. Right hand hurts Cintrón, and down he goes.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. ¿Cómo anda? ¿Cómo anda? Levántame la mano. Levántame la mano. Vamos. Vamos.
7th time Cintrón's been down in his career. Álvarez looking to finish it here in the 4th. That's a slip. That is not a knockdown. That's a slip. They got tangled up. Benefit Cintrón. At least I think so. Cintron's going straight back, and that's why that right hand landed.
Well, because he was such a powerful puncher, guys didn't take a chance to counter his left jab much because they were afraid of the right hand. But now Álvarez has no fear of the right hand at all.
Good left.
Countering the jab at will.
And Cintrón hurt at the end of the round as well. Blood coming from his nose. Another left hand has hurt Cintrón.
And it looks like he may be done.
For a guy who looks like he didn't want to go on after that first knockdown, though, Roy, he was throwing some hard shots back.
Oh, he was gambling.
Get in. Take a deep breath. You know where you are?
Ya mero sigue con esa, ¿viste?
Just keep up with that.
Poquito, poquito.
Okay. No. Listen to me. Are you okay? Yeah, listen. Okay, look. Grab his legs. Come on. Look. Box, okay?
He see Álvarez counter the jab with a jab of his own. Then you see him come over the top of the jab with a straight right hand. This is what guys used to be afraid to do to Kermit Cintrón because they was worried about his right hand.
And Cintrón got lucky that bell rang because he was hurt badly at the end of the round as well.
And caught up in the ropes.
He didn't get lucky. Another one just wrong.
Well, can Álvarez finish the show here with a hurt Cintrón in front of him?
See that right there? Anytime you can't get out the way of a guy countering your jab, you got bad problems.
Cintrón's throwing hard shots back, but he
There you go.
There's a combination.
That's the Cintrón we used to look for.
But then he
Cintrón
keeps that
gets
right.
hit, yeah, and he looks like he lacks coordination when he gets hit with a shot.
He's getting hit with those right hands in the temple area. It looks like he's losing his balance.
Since that first knockdown, he just looks like he's ready to fall.
The problem
He
is,
does counter with a right hand, though, and then a left.
that might have been an old Kermit Cintrón right hand.
Yeah.
But the problem is he can't get out the way of the right hand over the top of his own jab. Álvarez hits him on the top like that anytime he gets ready.
Boy, he just keeps going straight back.
And you can't get away from the right hand like that.
Well, he just showed he has the
Like
power
that.
to bother Álvarez. Will he go back to that power shot now?
He has no other choice. He seems like a guy that's just out of it tonight. Doesn't really seem to be in it tonight. He's not sharp. He's lethargic. He's not ready. He's got us like just not on point tonight.
Well, at 32 and a former welterweight champion, he needs a big performance tonight, not to be off point.
And he doesn't seem to be on point tonight at all.
Digs in with some power shots.
Álvarez much a sharper puncher.
Max, that's one of the fun things too, though, about watching Álvarez. He gets hit just enough to make it fun.
Yep. He may one day be a dominant fighter, but at this point, only 21. He's a fun fighter to watch because of that, what you mentioned. Meanwhile, at this point in the fight, Cintrón seems to be throwing back in spite of himself.
Just throw a ball, but he seems like he's dead tired, Max.
Yeah. Like he's almost surprised when he does land a punch and bother Álvarez.
Yeah, he seems like he's dead tired. Like that.
Good combination by Álvarez. And the referee, Hector Afu, has stopped it.
Well, Cintrón was throwing back, but he was taking a beating. And I didn't love his reaction to a lot of those shots.
I didn't either. Like I said, it just didn't seem on tonight. Wasn't sharp at all. Wasn't responding quick enough to the punches.
So Canelo Álvarez gets win number 39 and his 29th stoppage as he overpowers Kermit Cintrón. in that last round. According to CompuBox, Alvarez landed 28 of 50. 23 of those connects were power shots to Cintron's 11 of 66. Just never felt like Cintrón had his legs under him after taking those power shots from Alvarez. Even though he was able to get some shots back on Alvarez, Roy, it never seemed to do the kind of damage that he needed to do.
A lot of times when a guy moves up in weight and he doesn't really have having to hold his weight up, or he has to work to gain the weight, it's bad for him because he's fighting a guy who's coming down to that weight. So if you're coming up, meeting the guy who's coming down. At the fight night, Canelo probably has 15 pounds on Cintrón right now.
Well, he's a big draw in Mexico City, throughout Mexico. And I guess, Max, we talked about the whole Chavez sort of backdrop, Chavez Jr. Alvarez has now held serve.
Exactly right, and they're going back and forth. And even though they have different promotional outfits, Canelo with Golden Boy and Chavez Jr. with Top Rank, and sometimes those two organizations aren't in a rush to do business together. I think in this case, Roy, they're going to have to do some business together before too long.
And they better get in a rush to do it before somebody else intervenes and causes problems.
Right, their flaws are part of what makes them interesting.
There you go. That was a good right hook to the body by Kermit Cintrón, but right as you see, Alvarez comes right back over the top of that same right hand that he's been smashed with all night long. There's another one. Straight right hand, right on the button. Nowhere in the world Cintrón is going to keep taking that right hand. Over and over and over again, Alvarez landed that straight right. Right here you see behind Cintrón's double jab right hand, hook, straight right hand over the top again, followed by a body shot and another right hand to the back of the head, and the ref has seen enough because of the way Cintrón was reacting to it.
Roy, how does Canelo hide that right hand? Why is he able to land it like that?
Well, he's hiding it behind his left hook. He's throwing a left hook and turning his shoulder up very high so you can't see the right hand coming. But for some reason, Cintrón couldn't have seen it coming tonight anyway. He just wasn't ready to defend it over the top of his jab. See right there, he tried to turn, but he turned too late.
And just time and time again, Alvarez was able to zero in with that right hand and take a look at it again. And
you see how Alvarez blocked his right hand? Cintrón trying to roll Alvarez's right hand with his left hand down, and he just could not roll it.
Damas y caballeros, 2 minutos 53 segundos del quinto asalto. El referee para la pelea para el ganador por knockout técnico. The end comes 2 minutes 53 seconds. Round number 5. Referee Hector Rafu calls a halt to the bout for your winner by TKO victory. Se mantiene el invicto campeón CMB Super Welter and still the undefeated WBC light middleweight champion of the world, Saúl Canelo